Alright, so before we get into today's video, I just want to make it clear that this is not a serious critique of the game. It's not really something to take seriously overall. This is literally just my thoughts and opinions and feelings about this game. Yeah, I have no real reason to make this video. I just thought it would be fun to make a video for once after 2 years. But yeah, that's about it. Enjoy. So recently I've been coming back to Valorant. I haven't played the game in around 3 years-ish, and as I've been coming back to the game, I've actually been enjoying my time replaying it. Overall, it's kind of made me realize that this game overall is just kind of bad. And I'm talking about it, how bad it is in multiple ways. In its community and how it the community kind of enables itself. It kind of doesn't really shame itself in any way. So what I'm trying to say is Valorant is weird and it's also kind of lackluster. To put in some background, I'm not really a pro in Valorant. I'm sure
B-roll footage.
The B-roll footage you're seeing is me being kind of mediocre, maybe not doing anything at all. I don't know. I'm not very good at the game. I haven't really played the game seriously since 2022. And I've only played ranked enough to get my placeholder match in, and obviously I'm stuck in bronze. I peaked at gold back in 2022 and I dropped the game. I dropped the game for a lot of reasons, but the main reason was because the game's community was just... If you played solo queue, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The E-daters, the egotistical jet main or Renin main, the amount of times where you make one bad play and that's the bad play that cements you for the entire match, where none of your teammates trust you, or they don't make callouts, or they just don't talk at all, and then at the end of the game they start trash talking you for making whatever play you made. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Solo queue experience is not a fun one, in this game especially. Solo queue experience is not a fun one in any game really, to be honest. But with this game, it's even worse, because I don't know what it is, but this community is just weird and unfiltered and just borderline creepy at some points. Like, I'm just gonna say how I feel. I feel like this community, especially, is just full of weirdos that, for whatever reason, came to this game and thought it was okay to name themselves like cuckold sugar tits. I don't know. Look, having a outlandish name is fun, but sometimes it gets to a point where you have a name and you just kind of have to look at it and be like, this person's weird. People in this community are just a bunch of weirdos. Not all of them. All right. There's plenty of people I've met playing Swift Play that are just chill dudes. There's one time, there's this guy who was talking and we started talking about Arc Raiders or MOBAs or Final Fantasy 14 or Final Fantasy 7. I wished I friended that guy because he seemed cool, but I didn't. But I'm not here to talk about the good things. All right, maybe I'll talk about it a little bit, but I'm here to talk about the things that I don't like about this game and the things that kind of been bothering me ever since I started playing it all the way back. So to put in some background, I started playing this game because a friend of mine at my old job recommended it to me. For a while, it was fun. The game was fun. It was new. It was fresh. I started playing ranked with him. I started playing the game mainly with my friends at the time, and then mainly with the friends that I got introduced to through him. And for the longest while, it was good. As time went on, eventually that started to slow down. New games come out, interests start to differ. And eventually, some of our friends left Valorant to go play those games. And while I still stuck with Valorant with my other main friend, he started playing comp. And credit to him, he was very good. I think he peaked at Immortal or something, I don't remember. Or Ascendant, whatever, I forget. The point being, he was better than me by a large mile. To the point where he stopped playing with me because he was better than me. Not that I can blame him. I wasn't really the best teammate sometimes. Mainly because I couldn't win my gunfights for the life of me. He's trying to get better than me. So it had to be a point where he had to smurf to play with me at all. Unless we played unrated. or Swift play. At the time, I was still committed to comp, and I still actually wanted to play more comp, so I started playing solo queue and stuff like that. And he started smurfing, and he started playing with me, but the bad things happened where he started to smurf, and he started to take the games he would play with me less seriously. Not that I can blame him, like, you know, he smurfs my peak and all, but, you know, it kind of got a little bit irritating. Now, it's not that I wanted him to boost me or anything. I merely wanted to enjoy a comp scene with someone that I enjoy playing with. I enjoy competitive settings. I may not be good in the, you know, I haven't really played any competitive game in like a very serious way since Siege, like years ago, before that game became a dumpster fire. I merely wanted to enjoy my time playing with him in a competitive level. But every time he would not play the game seriously. He would play Neon, he would start b-hopping everywhere, and he would start using like shorties. Like, he wouldn't play his main, which was Raze, and playing seriously. He would just start playing, for clips mainly. And it became annoying because we would start losing a lot, and it became to a point where eventually I just quit the game altogether. But that was 3 years ago. I've recently come back to the game, and in my time back, I've realized that this game, mainly the community, got like somehow 10 times worse. You see your usual suspects. You got the e-daters, you got the he, his, or the her, his usernames. You got the weird, questionable usernames that you kind of like roll your eyes at sometimes, or kind of just squint at, like thinking they're a weirdo. And then you got your usual egotistical player that peaked Immortal once and all of a sudden they're stuck in gold for whatever reason, but they still think they're immortal. Now it's kind of got to a point where it kind of made me realize that this game is just dumpster fire, but it's not in a dumpster fire that you think the game would be in. Now, I haven't kept up with the updates on this game since I quit all those years ago, but from my understanding is this game is kind of a stagnant point. There hasn't been really any new content besides like a couple new game modes, and what recently happened was a new weapon being added. And if I remember the info right, they haven't had a replay option until a couple months ago, which took 5 years for that to show up, which I think is kind of insane, especially for a comp scene. I think a kind of replay mode for like a competitive game is kind of a must. I don't think I've ever had a game where the more I play it, the less better I feel when talking to people. So my first game in comp, I came across this player. We're 3 rounds in, we're just getting through, you know, the usual pistol rounds, and we were down. We got 1 round 1, and they got 2. So we're in the 4th round, and as we're starting, this player, he starts talking, and he starts just complaining off the rip. Where's our comms? Why are you guys not talking? Even though no one talked for those first 4 rounds at all. And me being me, I don't like when people complain, especially in a competitive setting. It does nothing for anybody. Like, it really does nothing. Like, if you're gonna play comp, I can understand being frustrated with your teammates sometimes. Realize your frustrations with your teammate, and just not vocalize it to them, because it does nothing for anybody. It doesn't help you, it doesn't help them. It just makes your relationship with your teammates just much worse, as it was for this guy. So as he complaining, I just told him, like, why are you being so negative? We're 4 rounds in, we just got through the pistol rounds, like, now we have guns, now we're good, like, we're barely into this game, and what you're already complaining, like, what's the deal? And then that's when the entire team blows up. Everyone starts getting on this guy. It's just one of those things, as I was playing, is like, people are so innate and so like hardwired to be negative to anything that happens in this game that it almost becomes a standard. It's kind of sad. It's really depressing, actually. And as I kept playing the game, and as we progressed, we eventually did win. But as it went on, the teammates just kept shit-talking the guy. And for me, like, I didn't shit-talk him. I didn't talk any trash towards him. I wasn't rude to him at all. I just told him to chill out and let the game go naturally and just make call-outs. Like, I don't really enjoy being negative to people. They're having, you know, of course I get my own frustrations with teammates, but I don't vocalize it to them because, again, it helps nobody. Teammates just kept talking him, and I eventually just told everyone to just stop talking and just play the game and just make call-outs, and that worked. It was completely radio silent for the rest of that game, and because of that, we won the game. It just kind of made me realize that people are just hardwired in this game to just be negative for any reason. And that's kind of the reason why I just don't talk to people in this game, is mainly because I'm just not in the mood to start a conversation and have someone just be either weird or just negative for no reason. And I've seen it enough to the point where I just refuse to talk to anybody unless they initiate it first. Of course, unless I'm playing comp, then I'll make callouts. But other than that, I will not make conversation openly on this game. Mainly for the reason of the amount of people I've come across have just been borderline weird or just negative for literally no reason. But yeah, but I think that's all I have to say. Kind of a whole yap sesh. Sorry if it doesn't really make sense to you, or like if my points are kind of like, I don't know, iffy. I just got on my computer, I just put on OBS and I started yapping. Also, apologize for the mic quality. I use a headset for my mic. I don't really have one of those like Yeti or one of those fancy mics that a lot of people have. I just been using my headset. So if the mic quality's off, I apologize, but it's what I'm working with for now. If I like doing this more, I'll probably buy something that makes the quality a little bit better, but this is what we're working with for now. I'm hoping to make this more of a consistent thing. I always say that, but it always ends up being not true, but we'll see.